Darwin Nunez is easily one of the best upcoming strikers in football, with him becoming a fan favorite at Liverpool and one of the most entertaining players the sport has to offer. However, Nunez was close to not reaching this level, with him having a serious injury in his youth that kept him out for a long time, almost leading him to quit football entirely. So how did Darwin Nunez overcome these obstacles to become one of the most notable names in football? Well, let's take a look at the rise of Darwin Nunez's career. Darwin was born on June 24th, 1999 in a small town in northern Uruguay called Artigas. Now, Darwin was born into a family that struggled financially. His father, Bibiano Núñez, was a construction worker, while his mom, Silvia Rivero, was a cleaner who sometimes had to collect bottles on the streets for some extra money. Sometimes the financial situation was so bad that when the Núñez family couldn't afford food for everybody to eat, the mother, Silvia, sacrificed her portion for Darwin and his older brother, meaning she was the one that went to bed hungry. It was a really sad and serious situation that Darwin and his family were going through. However, despite the hardship, Darwin and his older brother loved football and played in school and on the streets as children. Eventually, Darwin would play for local clubs like La Luz and San Miguel, until a Peñarol scout, Jose Perdomo, saw Darwin and convinced him to sign for their academy. In order for Darwin to play for Peñarol though, he would have to move to the capital of Uruguay, Montevideo, which was hours away from Artigas. Initially, with Darwin struggling with homesickness, he returned back home to spend time with his family. However, a year later, with Darwin's older brother, Junior Nunez, signing for Peñarol as well, Darwin went back to the capital to play for Peñarol again. Throughout the youth ranks, Darwin Nunez was excelling and was easily one of Peñarol's best players in the academy. So in late 2016, when Peñarol's first team manager got sacked, Caruchet, the director of the Peñarol Academy, was asked to take charge of the first team for the final few games of the season. In the games he was managing, Caruchet wanted to bring Darwin Nunez into the first team and give him his first minutes of first team football. However, Darwin Nunez did not want to go to the first team yet. The reason being, Darwin Nunez grew a strong bond with his under 23 teammates, and he wanted to stay and help to try to win the league title, something the Peñarol under 23 team was close to achieving. Caruchet did not want to accept Nunez's rejection, but he reluctantly agreed and Nunez stayed with the under 23s. However, this turned out to be a big mistake in hindsight. In an under 23 game, Nunez got the start against South America away from home on a pitch that wasn't in the best conditions. In the game, Nunez went up for a header, which is common obviously, but when he landed back down, he landed awkwardly. His knee ended up buckling under the weight of his body, and he ended up tearing his anterior cruciate ligament, more commonly known as the ACL. With a serious injury like this, Darwin Nunez needed surgery on his knee, and this was set to keep him out for almost a year. Caruchet felt tremendous guilt, realizing that if he forced Nunez to play with the main team, this would have never happened. However, even at just 17 years old, Darwin Nunez had an unbreaking mentality, and he told Caruchet that this is life and that he'll recover and keep on moving forward. Bro was sounding like Aaron Yeager. That's crazy. Anyways, even though Darwin Nunez initially had his head held up high and a desire to keep on going, it didn't stay like that. Even though Darwin Nunez came back from the injury for around a year with a positive attitude, the recovery did not go as smoothly as possible. In training, Darwin continued to say that he felt a pain in his knee, and after every training session, he'd end up crying to himself because of the pain. Eventually, the new first team coach, Leonardo Ramos, asked Darwin Nunez what the problem was, and Darwin told him that he just wanted to quit football and go back home to his family. He couldn't take the pain anymore, and despite loving the sport, his mentality shattered. Ramos, the coach, refused to let Darwin walk away from the sport he loved, and after having a father-son chat where Ramos reminded Darwin of his talent and his dreams, Darwin decided to stay playing football. So with Ramos helping motivate Darwin back up, Darwin continued to go through the recovery process, receiving another surgery, and continued to try to get himself back on the pitch. As we can clearly see, having someone to talk to during a low point in your life could be extremely beneficial and helpful. And if you're going through something in life and need somebody to talk to, BetterHelp, the sponsor of today's video, is there for you. BetterHelp is a platform that provides online mental health services to those looking for it. Additionally, BetterHelp can connect you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you considerate, unbiased advice. I understand that sometimes it's hard to open up about your problems and let your true feelings out, and sometimes a face-to-face interaction can be a little too much. But with BetterHelp, you can have your therapy sessions as a phone call, a video chat, or even through messaging if that's what you prefer and that's what you're most comfortable with. If this seems like something that you could be interested in, remember to click the link in my YouTube description or go to betterhelp.com/Nabuto if you want to help the channel, and also get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp, so you can see a therapist and see if it works for you. Remember, BetterHelp can match you to one of 30,000 therapists in their network, so if you're matched with a therapist at first that doesn't seem like the right fit, you can easily switch to a new one with no additional cost. Also, with there being a way wider range of expertise on BetterHelp compared to just a therapist in your area, I'm sure there's someone that's just right for you. Off the bat as well, you fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific needs, and in most cases, cases, you'll be matched with a therapist within the first 48 hours. So once again, if you think you can benefit from therapy, consider BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/Nabuto. Anyways, thank you BetterHelp for sponsoring the video, and now let's get back to Darwin Núñez. Now, Darwin Nunez was able to overcome these obstacles and show how good he can be on the pitch with Peñarol. He started scoring goals, like getting a hat-trick against Boston River, dropping good performances, and even showing off how good he can be on the world stage, with him scoring 2 goals at the Under-20 World Cup for Uruguay. Through these impressive performances, Darwin Nunez was scouted by 2nd Division Spanish club Almeria, and they signed him on a 5-year deal for around $4.5 million. With this move, Darwin Nunez made enough money to get his family out of poverty, with him even telling his mother to find a bigger home, and even told Junior, his brother, to stop working as a police officer and he'll be the one helping him financially. Moving on to the footballing side of things though, Darwin Nunez was killing it for Almeria. Not initially though, with him actually only playing in 1 out of the first 9 games. After that though, Nunez got himself 16 goals and 3 assists in 32 games in La Liga 2, averaging a goal in every other game. These amazing performances had some top clubs taking notice of him, including the likes of Barcelona, with Luis Suarez trying to convince the Barca hierarchy to take a chance on him, and even Brighton Albion apparently. However, Benfica were the most interested, and paid a club record fee of 24 million euros for the player, with Nunez becoming the most expensive player for Benfica and in the Portuguese league. Additionally, this was Almeria's and La Liga 2's biggest transfer as well. Basically, Darwin Nunez was breaking all sorts of records with this transfer. Now, Darwin's first season with Benfica went decently. He got himself 14 goals and 12 assists in 44 games, playing a big part in helping Benfica to a 3rd place finish and securing qualification for the Champions League. There wasn't much else in the 2021 season for Nunez though, except for the fact in May 2021, Darwin Nunez had another knee injury, which kept him out for the 2021 Copa America with Uruguay, and also led him to miss the first couple of games in the new 21-22 season with Benfica. However, after that, Darwin Nunez exploded on the scene. In the first month when he came back, he scored back-to-back braces against Santa Clara and Boavista in the Primera Liga, and because of this, he won the league's Player of the Month and Forward of the Month for September, winning these awards for the first time. Then in the Champions League, Nunez scored his first 2 Champions League goals in a 3-0 upset victory over Barcelona, securing himself man of the match. Then, a couple months later against B-Sad, he scored his first hat-trick in the league, and a couple weeks later against Famalicão, he got another hat-trick, becoming the 7th player ever to score back-to-back hat-tricks in the Primera Liga. In the second half of the season, Nunez scored the only goal away over Ajax in the Champions League round of 16, helping them secure a place in the quarterfinals. And then against B-Sad in the league again, he scored his 3rd hat-trick of the season. As we can see, Darwin Nunez improved tremendously from his first season at Benfica, like improving his finishing, staying behind the last defender, etc. And this was really put to show against his future club Liverpool. In the quarterfinals, Darwin scored 2 goals against the Reds, even though Benfica were later eliminated 6-4. Little did he know though, this great quarterfinal performance from Nunez will secure him a life-changing move. We probably should have known though, the hints were all there. I mean, Klopp literally said after the game that Nunez had a big career ahead of him. Klopp doesn't really praise another player unless he has his eye on him, just saying. Overall though, in the 21-22 season, Darwin Nunez scored an astounding 34 goals and got 4 assists in 41 games, meaning he almost had a goal contribution in every single game he played. Also, he went on to finish the season helping Benfica win the league, and also winning the Primera Liga top scorer award, and also being named in the team of the year and being the player of the year. Wow, these accolades are insane for a player as young as Darwin Nunez was. And with these incredible achievements, other top European clubs were taking a look at Nunez, and staying at Benfica was no longer a possibility. At the end though, it was Liverpool who got their man and secured a transfer for Nunez for 75 million euros with 25 million in add-ons, making him Liverpool's record transfer, beating out Virgil van Dijk's transfer from a few years back. Real quick before we get to Darwin Nunez's first season at Liverpool, please remember to subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it and it means a lot, so thank you. And also if you guys can, please follow my Twitter and Instagram, both at Nabuto, if you just want to hear my thoughts on football games, transfers, and overall just to get to know me more. So if you want to, feel free to hit me up with that follow. Thank you. Back to topic, off the bat, it seemed like Nunez was going to hit the ground running, with him making his debut for Liverpool in the Community Shield game against Manchester City and scoring a goal to help deliver the trophy to the Reds in a 3-1 victory. Then in the first game of the Premier League campaign against Fulham, he scored a goal and got an assist in his league debut. However, things were going to take a turn for the worse, because in the second Premier League game ever against Crystal Palace, he let the Crystal Palace defender get into his head too much, so he headbutted him and got sent off for 3 straight games. Now Nunez's time at Liverpool for the 22-23 campaign was a mixed bag. He had great performances, like scoring 2 goals in a 3-1 win against Southampton, scoring the only goal in a 1-0 win over West Ham, and scoring an outrageous backheel goal against Real Madrid, even though we got clapped 7-2 on aggregate, but let's not talk about that. However, he did have some terrible moments, and moments where he missed some really easy chances that he should have scored. It was clear that the talent was there for Nunez, but he needed to improve in some areas of his game. Overall though, football fans hate on Nunez too much for his first season because his stats weren't even that bad, with him getting 15 goals and 4 assists in 42 games. That's seriously not that bad for someone's first season in the Premier League. Overall though, it was clear that Nunez was a work in progress, and it was a little unfair to be too harsh on Nunez as well, considering Liverpool were struggling hard in the 22-23 campaign, with them finishing 5th in the season. Moving on to the 23-24 campaign, Nunez seems to be a much better player from the season prior, besides that game against Luton Town, but let's not talk about that. Before the campaign started, Nunez was given the number 9, and he was proud to wear such a legendary number for the club, with many Liverpool fans liking how Nunez always showed the utmost respect for the club and how he was such an entertaining footballer. He quickly became a fan favorite, and all us Liverpool fans loved watching him play. However, initially, Klopp wasn't starting Nunez much, and he wasn't giving him any game time, with him only getting 24 minutes against Chelsea in the first game, and then only 4 minutes in the match versus Bournemouth after that. However, in the third game against Newcastle, it all changed. With Virgil van Dijk being sent off and Liverpool down 1-0, it was looking like a loss for the Reds. But in the 77th minute, Nunez was subbed on and absolutely carried Liverpool. He scored a well-placed finish in the 81st minute and did almost the exact same thing in the 3rd minute of added time, meaning Liverpool won 2-1, despite the comeback seeming to be impossible. This only fanned the flames of Nunez becoming a Liverpool fan favorite, with Nunez single-handedly securing all 3 points for the Reds in a very tough match. He went on to score more goals so far in the campaign as well, like against West Ham, Nottingham Forest, Toulouse in the Europa League, but let's not talk about his miss though, since Nunez purposely turned it into an assist because he saw Gravenberch in the reflection from the post. Trust me. And of course, that screamer against Bournemouth in the Carabao Cup. Overall, in the 23-24 campaign, Nunez has 7 goals and 6 assists in 17 games, and it's looking like he's going to play a big part in Liverpool's quest to glory this season. Overall, Nunez has already become a Liverpool fan favorite, and is set to be the club's next biggest superstar, with his talent undeniably being there, but he just has to show it out consistently, and not drop stinkers like he did against Luton Town. If Nunez does that, he will undoubtedly become one of the next best strikers in this football generation. I 100% believe in that. I'm a Nunez believer, and I stand by it. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Also, please follow my Twitter and my Instagram. The links are in my YouTube description. And last but not least, if you want to watch my VIP experience at El Clasico, you definitely want to check out this video right here. You won't regret it.